This simple orange cake is one of my very favorite vegan cake recipes. And it isn't super sugary, so you can make it as a simple eggless breakfast cake or as a delicious and decadent vegan dessert. Welcome to Kat's Vegan Kitchen. Let's get started. This is an eggless cake, so I'm gonna start by whipping up my egg replacer because it needs to sit for about a minute. This is Bob's Red Mill egg replacer and it's one of my favorites. I do suggest you use a commercial egg replacer in this cake recipe. I'm replacing 2 eggs in this recipe, so for this type of egg replacer, I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of egg replacer and 4 tablespoons of water. I'm going to whisk that up and let it sit on the side for about a minute and a half. While my egg replacer is sitting, I'm just going to combine my dry ingredients in a bowl. This is 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. To that, I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, and a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. I'm gonna mix that up really well. My egg replacer has been sitting for about a minute and you can see it's thickened up nicely. Now I'm gonna use this as my wet ingredients bowl and just toss all my wet ingredients in here. 3/4 cup of olive oil, 1/2 cup of dairy-free milk. I'm gonna use oat milk. Make sure the milk you use is unsweetened and doesn't have any flavoring in it. To that, I'm gonna add about a 1/4 cup of orange juice. That is about the juice of 1 to 2 oranges. To that, I'm gonna add the zest of about 2 oranges, which is about a teaspoon and a half of orange zest. This is how you zest an orange. You take your zester, you take your orange, and you just scrape it. You wanna collect the zest in a bowl or a plate. Orange zest. Add that into your wet ingredients. Give it a nice little stir. Now we're gonna add in our sugar to our wet ingredients. This is about a cup and 1/4 cup of sugar. 1 1/4 cup of sugar. And we're gonna whisk that nicely. We're gonna pour our wet ingredients into our dry ingredients and we're gonna make sure we get all that delicious goodness. And you can mix with a handheld beater or you can just whisk it really well. My cake is mixed and ready to go in the oven. I've been preheating my oven at 350 degrees. I'm gonna bake my cake for about 40 minutes until a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. I'm gonna pour my cake into a 9-inch round pan. You could also use a 9-inch square pan. Fun fact, in testing when I made this cake, it stuck to the pan twice. It's not coming out.
Let me press.
So make sure you grease and flour your pan really well. I'm going to use parchment paper on the bottom to double, make sure it won't stick. You can also use a glass pan and let it cool completely, and that should avoid the problem as well. Okay, I baked my cake for about 40 minutes. I stuck a toothpick in, it came out clean. I've been cooling it for about 40 minutes on a wire rack. Now I'm gonna remove it from the pan and finish it up. Beautiful, that is such a better experience than when it's stuck. I'm just gonna take the parchment paper off very carefully. I'm simply gonna put it on my lovely cake stand. There's a couple ways to frost this cake. I love to just use confectioner's sugar. The cake is so beautiful and delicious as it is. The confectioner's sugar just adds a nice little burst of sweetness. But you can also frost it with an orange glaze. You would use 1/3 cup of confectioner's sugar and 1 tablespoon of fresh squeezed orange juice, or a chocolate glaze would be really nice as well. Here's a trick to getting your confectioner's sugar to be very pretty. If you sprinkle it through a sieve or a strainer, and you can just kind of hit the side. Of course you don't have to do this, but it makes it really pretty. And as you know, we eat with our eyes before we eat with our mouths. Here's a secret. This cake is so good that nobody is going to know it's vegan, so don't even tell them. Just bring it to your next party and serve it up, and everyone will ask you for the recipe. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you next time on Kat's Vegan Kitchen. Remember, if you like this video, give a thumbs up so you never miss a recipe.